Y'all, I learned something real different. I learned something different. And I'm starting to understand I'm going to be dealing with what I want to deal with. It's so many different topics. The curses of how the so-called black man and black woman, we got into racism and hatred against each other. And the reason for these things, we have to understand the various reasons. If you go to Deuteronomy Chapter 28, there was a prophecy in the Bible that was given if the children of Israel did not keep the commandments of the Most High God. He made it very clear in Deuteronomy Chapter 28, verse 1, if we would obey and keep the commandments as the contract that he laid out for us, we will not, a lot of the things that's how we got to America over here through slavery. And verse 15, if you read on down, go to verse, skip and go to verse, well, it's good to read the whole thing, but if you go to Deuteronomy chapter 15, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken diligently. That means hearken means if you don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses. Now, when you think of all these curses, it says, will come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, let's ask this question. Is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. Curses are bad. Blessings are something good. You see what I'm saying? So, if you look right there in Exodus chapter 19, and you read a couple of, I can like 21, 22, all the way going all the way up to the last verse, going up to 20. If you read Exodus 19 and verses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, you'll see where Israel, that Moses went up to the mountain to talk to God and to tell God, no, to speak with God. And God gave him a list of 613 laws. It was the 10 Commandments, because he was starting them off with the basics after they was coming out of Egypt. The reason why he gave them 10, but it's more than 10. But in the Christian church, people was taught that it was only 10, just like I said, but it's really 613. And we'll get into that. But I want to talk about, I want to kind of jump the gun a little bit, if that's all right. You have so-called black men hating black women. You have the so-called black woman is hating the black man. She hates him because, let me tell you how now a lot of people, everybody going around claiming that they the so-called, the other nations, the so-called white man, all of them, they go around and they claim that they are the real, the Jews. But we know that in Revelation 2 and 9, he said, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. That's them fake Jews over there. They call themselves Israeli, which are the fake Jews. Ashkenaz, Israeli, the Arabs. They call themselves Jews, but they actually had the children of Israel in slavery. All of the Caucasian is the main people that had our people in slavery at one point in time. But the Most High God says in Galatians 6 and 7, they're gonna pay for it. You look at Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9 and 10, he said, those nations that led us into captivity will lead us into slavery. They're gonna have to go into captivity, meaning they're gonna have to go into slavery. Just like we suffered the punishment of our forefathers and we hate each other, that's a curse. You see what I'm saying? Everybody in the world around the globe do not fit those curses. Only the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people, which are the real Jews according to the Bible, are the only people that fit those curses in the Bible. Let me tell you one of the curses, and I want to mention this here. When you just, it's not that I'm not trying to like throw our people under the bus. I really love our people and this and that and the third, but I want to get to the point. When you see a group of women, you see what I'm saying? And this is the all this stuff about psychology, this and that and the third, and mentally ill. All those things are curses that God used to punish the children, us, because we didn't listen to what the guidelines that he told us. You go into certain groups, even YouTube, Facebook, and so on and so forth, and you'll see a lot of men, or you see a lot of women teaming up and going against a so-called black man. They do this here, and they some of them may not be aware of it. Some of them may not be aware of it, and because the curses and what we are doing, we are identifying who the children of Israel are, because the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans hate each other's guts. The so-called black woman hate the black man and prejudice against the black man, which is a curse that the Most High God put on us because we did not keep the commandments. At one time, we loved one another, because it said that in Deuteronomy Chapter 28 in verse 53, it says, so that the man that, 54, so the man that it was tender and delicate among you, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. That means your brother can mean your sister. You see the fighting going on. You see so many different black on black crime and all these different things. Not only that, but you see the so-called black woman. If you go down, verse 55, it says, so that the woman that is tender and delicate among you and very delicate, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. That's going into the so-called black woman is actually hate the black man, because she's been through something with the so-called black man. And so what happened is, what she's going to do, she's going to get together with a bunch of other females in a video or whatever, and they're going to support each other. You see what I'm saying? And I want to talk about all of these, all those things are curses, that we hate each other, and these things are showing who the true Jews are. That's what these things are showing. You see what I'm saying? Because they get in these lives, just like the so-called black man and the so-called black woman. We get to, excuse, just like women. Let me reiterate it. So the so-called black woman and black women, they get together, and the Hispanic man, they get together in lives, and they just throw shades and attack each other by putting comments in the comment section. And the broadcaster, which is the so-called black woman, is throwing shades at the black man and saying, if you don't want to be here, why are you here? Why are you watching me? Da da da, and just going on and on, girl. And, you know, just basically, we find ourselves, we hate each other so much, and we just throwing each other under the bus, and we just find an opportunity. Is because I'm not saying that everyone does this here. Every one of us, because when I be walking and when I go in the store, I experience a so-called black man or black woman. We looking at each other side-eyed, like we want to fight. Like, what the fuck you looking over here at me for? We just give each other that look. So this is telling me who fits the prophecy in the Bible. That Bible is not talking about the so-called white man. The so-called white man is the enemy that the Bible speaks of, and they use the media. These things is used is to the media behind the social media. All these things is being used to push the agenda of the hate war that we have for each other. You see what I'm saying? We say that we got love for each other, but if you listen at how we talk, we really show that we're not comfortable with each other. We just get with a group of people that we comfortable with, such as the black woman get with other so-called black women that's going to team up, and they may not call it that, but they unaware that's what it is. Just like you have a group of guys, and they get together and get in a live, and then just one black man speaking, and it may make the other so-called black man hate the so-called black woman, even though the so-called black man may be pointing out some things, or we may point some things out that's incorrect, that is in our community or whatever. But at the same time, underneath the gender is still some hatred behind that. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to learn how to heal ourselves from that. You see what I'm saying? I know that's dumb for me to get up in here and speak on this here and not have my Bible before me. My bad for doing that. I just wanted to just say this here. If y'all have any questions or anything about this here, about this matter, I can. If you ask questions, there you have it. I can go in and I can look up the answer. And if I don't have the answer, I'll be more than happy to go back and look up the answer and do the research and come back, and I'll be more than happy to bring the answer back to you or whatever. But if you look at us, They'll say things like, "Girl, we the best girl. We the best girl. These niggas is hating. These niggas is this and that and the third. Girl, look, I ain't studying that. Or if they don't want to watch, why you here? Why you blah blah blah." It's just a bunch. To me, not to me, but you can clearly see that is a sign that whose God's chosen children are, because it said in Deuteronomy Chapter 28 and verses 46, it said, "These curses will be upon us, upon them for a sign and for wonder. These will be identifying marks to show who God's chosen people are." God used all of these curses is to punish us when we go off. Just like when your child do something wrong, what do? You whoop his ass. When your child do something wrong, you get your belt and you handle your business, or you give him that certain look to let him know, if you don't straighten this shit up, your ass finna get a whooping. You see what I'm saying? So this is what the Most High God did to us. The Most High God used these things is to punish us. You see what I'm saying? But our purpose is, what we got to do, we got to come back to the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High God. We got to get out of that. We got to, even me, we got to stop being, even myself when I say we, I got to stop being so damn sensitive. You see what I'm saying? I got to rise up and be that man. You see what I'm saying? We got to rise up out of that. You see what I'm saying? Get in certain select groups and you support these and these, and like we gonna now I may be kind of off a little bit with it, as far as one thing I learned how to do now, I learned how to take and do what the Bible says. Judge nothing before the time. It tells you, don't pass judgment until you find out and get all the full information before you try to make a judgment or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But we got to come together as a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, come back to our God and start keeping these commandments and start loving each other and embrace our culture, because we embrace every other culture. We embrace the so-called white man's culture. We embrace the Chinese, the so-called Chineses, the Philippines and Saudi Arabians and all these different people that enslaved our forefathers and foremothers and put them in slavery, but we refuse to love our own. You see what I'm saying? But we love everybody, and we love the main one that's killing and shooting our people down in the streets all the time. But we got to come from up under that. We got to delete, and we got to reinstall. We got to delete and reinstall and cleanse everything out of our mind that we was brainwashed to believe that the so-called white man told you was black. The so-called white man told you was Haitian. The so-called white man told you was a Cuban. When God said you are Manasseh, not no damn Cuban. It doesn't matter what man call you. It matters what the Most High God calls you. That's the key word right there. But we got to come back to these laws, and we're going to remain up under these curses until we recognize who he is. We're going to always be fighting in the flesh. We fighting in the flesh because we seeing things from a carnal mind, from the carnal flesh. Oh, girl, this, it's because the women is naturally going to support each other. It's just like if a man walk up, I had to shut the door because the music is still going, and I don't want them to get that Facebook or copyright me. If I walk up to another woman, and I'm just gonna be hypothetical here, another woman, it's certain things you would discuss with a female and certain things you won't discuss with a female. You'll discuss certain things with a male. Another black male is going to discuss with another black male. Man, I laid up with this whore, man, she ain't nothing but a whore, man. That's a dirty, that bitch done slept with everybody, and this and that and the third, and I hit that, and man, I got that money, man. I got her so and so whooped. I got her, man. Oh man, I can make her do anything, man. I can make this mother do anything. You know what I'm saying? Man, she got a fine ass. You know what I'm saying? She got a fine ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, that bitch is fine, but man, I wouldn't want to be with that bitch, man. This and that and the third. Look, if another man go to another woman and talk like that, more than likely, those are personal, private things that female do not want a male to come into her presence and be talking about. Like, you need to be talking. Like, what the hell is you telling me this for? That's just like me. You talking about me. I'm a female. Hey, don't come here. You know what I'm saying? No, don't get no like this nigga, put this nigga. And then, but, all right, let me reverse it. Just like if a woman come out and say, girl, that nigga thought I loved him and all that kind of stuff. Man, he thought that nigga thought I loved him, man. Man, I'm just getting that money, man. I'm just getting that money, man. I ain't trying to be tied down to no motherfucker girl. Girl, I don't blame you, girl. Girl, I don't blame you, girl. You know what I'm saying? Girl, I don't blame girl. You know, da. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Girl, I don't blame you, girl. Get the money, girl. Get the money. I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's about money. My time is money. I ain't worried about all that motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Girl, I'm not worried about that girl. Shit. Have a baby for that nigga, man? Man, hell no. All of those things are when you sit, when another female feel comfortable sitting down with another female talking like that to, about that to another female. You see what I'm saying? The thing that she discussed with a female like that, you know what I'm saying? You know, she feel comfortable because she's a female herself. You see what I'm saying? But if you get a male and come together with a male and talk like that, like if a female hear a male talk like that and say, girl, I'm just around this dude. I'm just trying to get that money, girl. I got his head fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't really want him, girl. You know, he just, girl, I'm just trying to get that money. That's all I'm trying to do. Man, fuck, girl. I ain't trying to be tied down, girl. I'm saying, girl, look. And then the other girl will be cheering the other girl on, be like, yes, right, girl. Girl, you know what? I don't blame you. Get that money, girl. I don't blame you, girl. Just get it. Do your thing, girl. Do your thing, girl. Them niggas is jealous of you anyway. And then one of them can't keep up with. When you talk like that before another male, that's going to be uncomfortable. A conversation like that going to be uncomfortable because the other male going to be like, wait a minute, what the hell? I don't want to be, no, this a dirty, man, that bitch dirty. That so-and-so is dirty, you know. And then if you get around, same thing. Let me reverse it. I'm just doing reverse. And if a guy go to a girl, if a guy go to a girl and say and talk like that, the way that the female was down on that man, say, girl, get that, the girl be, girl, give me high five, girl, get that money, girl, you know, every time. But if a man go to another female and say, man, I ain't never use that bitch, man. That's all I want to do, man. I got her head fucked up, man. I ain't studying that. I ain't studying that B, man. I ain't studying that motherfucker, man. That bitch, this and that and the third, man. I'm getting that ass and I'm just trying. Man, I got that bitch spending money on me, man. She spent all kind of money on me and stuff. You know damn well it ain't no female gonna want to sit around no man and hear no other black man talk down another female like that, and that's a female herself. She gonna be like, wait a minute, girl, I had to put that nigga in his place, man. And they're like, fuck, if he don't give a fuck about my friend, you see what I'm saying? If he don't give a fuck about my girl, fuck that nigga, girl, sugar. You know what I'm saying? A woman ain't gonna want to hear all that. Hear no man just sitting up there talking like, man, it's a fine bitch. All I want to do is fuck this motherfucker. Because she gonna feel disrespected. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, I'm uncomfortable with hearing a conversation like that because I don't want no nigga disrespecting me like that. And first, if you coming around me telling me what you gonna do to my girl or another girl, what the fuck you gonna feel about me? And if a woman hear another woman like talking like that, she gonna stick up for the other woman. She gonna be like, I'm just saying she's supposed to. You know, you don't want to be disrespected at the end of the day. But the other woman gonna cheer the woman. Girl, that's right, girl. That's right. Give me some high five. You know what I'm saying? They going to support each other. So what I'm trying to say is that is a form. There are different types of racism. We already know that the so-called white man hates a so-called black person or so-called person of color, whatever you want to call him. He just going to look at your ass and call you black. Like I had it happen to me one time. They don't give a damn how light-skinned you are, how red or whatever you is, black hair, looking good and all that kind of stuff with a white beard and all that kind of stuff. When they look at you and you if you're not 100% European, your ass is in trouble. You see what I'm saying? They not gonna look. No, They just gonna look at. They not gonna go through all them all them different characteristics. What you mix with and this and that. No, they gonna sum it all up in one. Your ass is still black. They gonna call you black. That's what they gonna call you. That's what they gonna call you, because what they doing is separating you or whatever. So, I guess this video was entitled certain things that I don't know what the hell to name it. Certain things that men feel comfortable with talking against women about, versus certain things women feel comfortable with talking against men. That they wouldn't want another male is to talk against them in the way that they feel they can come together as women and talk and down of another man. And what I'm trying to say, that's a form of there's different types of racism. That's what I'm really trying to form a name for this video, because it's kind of hard. But I'm gonna say it like this: there's different types of racism. We already know that the so-called white men hate us. The psychology is we are not naturally haters against one another. We just been programmed and conditioned into hating each other. Why we've been programmed and conditioned to hating each other? Because we've been around the Europeans and we have adopted their lifestyle. And that's the reason why the so-called black woman cannot stand the black man. That's the reason why the so-called black woman, the black man cannot stand the so-called black woman. So there's different levels of racism. You got women that get together and be racist against a so-called black man. You have, just like you have black men who will get together and talk against black women and be racist against another so-called black woman. There's different types of racism, just like there's different levels of racism. And there's different levels of hatred. You see what I'm saying? They got the level of the psychology of racism, like you have black men who is racist against so-called black women, their own women. You have black women who get together, or they see a black man, they actually hate that black man and are racist against the so-called black man. You see what I'm saying? And you got so-called black women believe that they're more superior to the black and more superior than the black man. They value themselves and look at themselves more valuable than they do the so-called black man. Just like the so-called black man look at the so-called black woman and see them as less than, you know what I'm saying? We all probably have been guilty of it, less than, and we feel that we're better than them and this and that and da-da-da and this and that and the third. It's hatred on both sides. So that's racist. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not letting Esau, the so-called white man, off the hook now. He's a natural born killer and a hater. Esau, the so-called white man, the Caucasian people, they are the natural born haters on this planet. And so we have been conditioned. When you see a black woman or when you see a black man, they hate, we bickering and arguing and fighting against each other. That is the hatred that was programmed in us into our ancestors, and it passed on from generation to generation. And we still are hating each other today, and we still see the effects of slavery right now to this very day. And we are still suffering the effects of Stockholm slave syndrome. Not no Stockholm syndrome, but Stockholm slave-drome, if I said it right. Stockholm slave-drome. That's what it is. So that's what we're suffering from. We're still suffering from slavery. That's what that's the best word. We're still suffering from slavery right now. That's what that all is. When you find, let me say a couple more things, I'm going to close it out. When you find a lot of us go into a black woman's chat, put hateful comments in the chat, that is a form of slavery that we are suffering from. Because we hurt people, hurt other people. You see what I'm saying? Just like hurt women, hurt other men, hurt other black men. I'm not including the white man in this here, and the white woman and the Chinese, because this is not for them. This is only for us. Because We have a problem with loving each other. That's the whole thing. We just have a problem with loving each other. We don't genuinely love each other. We say that we do, but we really don't. Because we have been brainwashed and conditioned into slavery is to hate each other. Just like we've been conditioned and brainwashed into calling ourselves black, Creole, and African American, and all these different terms and names and stuff. We call ourselves these terms because the white man told you that you was that. We hate each other is because the white man told us is to compete and fight against each other. And we think it's right if the so-called white man then told us to do it. But the white man ain't nothing but the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. Now I'm out. And I'm going to see y'all later. If y'all want any more, hit me up. If comment in the comment section. All right. We're going to talk about this some more because I feel there's some things that I left